Now in Grand National Steeplechase Day at Flemington on a heavy track. Let's check the results. First on the program went to Tango Master, a big effort to win from a wide gate starting 7-2 equal favourite. Wandering Duke won the hurdle race number 2, handled the going well and a strong win starting at 9-4 and favourite. Third was won by HUSSAR'S pick at 7-2, outstayed them, and a very good ride by Gavin Eads. New Zealand's best jumper, Noble Heritage, was sent out a very short 13-8 favourite for the Rich Grand National, but it was another Kiwi which outstayed them all. 12-year-old Prince Lindell led the field out. Counting hurdles, it was his 9th Nationals appearance, a record. But it was too much for the old bloke. He was the only one who failed to finish the gruelling 5,000 metres and 28 fences. When the jumping was all over, it was left to the tough New Zealander, bar the shouting and Valiant Gamble, to fight it out.
In the last 150, Valiant Gamble, the rails, and bar the shouting. They're both doggedly tied. Bar the shouting and Valiant Gamble. Bar the shouting has his head in front. Valiant Gamble trying to bridge the gap, but the New Zealander, bar the shouting, draws away again, wins 3/4 of a length. Valiant Gamble is second. 15.
For Davina Waddell, it was a moment to rival the thrill of winning with the top 3-year-old Isle of Man some 8 years ago.
I'm just absolutely wrecked.
He certainly looked the horse to beat, say, 800.
And bar the shouting, starting at 11-2, in fact, has trebled his prize money since arriving in Australia. Both Noble Heritage and Direct Mail failed to stay. Now the Winter Championship final and a big run by English Charm.
Just fought back again, got his head in front of Bronze Knight. Now Duke of Oak Hill closing on the outside with 100 metres to go. Duke of Oak Hill got to the lead, and here's English Charm. After the check, she's flying home, grabs the lead. This is a mighty win. English Charm wins it by about a neck to Duke of Oak Hill. Bravado's run third. And
a very big run by English Charm. After getting a check at the start, she scored at 9-2. Greg Hall made it a double, scoring the next race on My Avon Star. It won on protest at 6-1. Now the second leg of the double.
Into close then Braquilo. It's Sungei Wang getting to romantic game with 150 metres to go. Right on the outside, Worth a Mention is coming home very late, but Sungei Wang the leader to romantic game. Worth a Mention and Braquilo, and Sungei Wang goes on to win it. Sungei Wang is first. It's a photo second and third. Braquilo and Worth a Mention hit it together in front of romantic game. Captain
Sungei Wang at 7-2 in favourite, well supported, and Ernie Marchant's first ride for the new team, booting home a winner. The last went to Just Jezebel at 12-1 over Wise Scarlet and singled out. Daily double today, 4 and 8, $13.20. The extra, 7 and 5, $21.40. The quadrilla paid $1,543.20, and the quad extra, $3,095.50. Well, veteran Flemington race caller Frank O'Brien has called his last race at the track, and to mark Frank's retirement, it was the last race was named in his honour.
Racing in the last, and Wise Scarlet jumped all.
The last race at Flemington today will be remembered for more than just the results.
Just Jezebel is packing too many guns for the opposition, and Just Jezebel salutes the judge from Wise Scarlet, singled out.
Dubbed the doyen of commentators, Frank O'Brien has called 21 Melbourne Cups. The hardest, he says, was in 1976, when Vanderham came out of a maelstrom to win.
It was run after a torrential rainstorm, and the colours were virtually impossible to pick, and the jockeys were covered in mud, and it was a real nightmare to call it. But anyway, we survived. I made a few blues, but I got through okay, so I was very thankful when it was all over.
Frank started calling more than 37 years ago, when just a teenager in northeastern Victoria.
I used to enjoy doing broadcasts of boxing contests and the kids running up and down the driveway and so on, and then after I left school I did the local races at Alexandra, and I went on from there, but I was always mad keen on sport.
Frank will go on describing them at Moonee Valley, but replacing him at Flemington from next week will be the ABC's Greg Miles, for whom the older caller has nothing but praise.
Oh, that was me. Good on you, Frank. It was a great career, and of course it continues at Moonee Valley. Finally, a reminder of the ABC's live coverage of the third test at Edgbaston tonight.
Jumped in front, the New Zealander. Valiant Gamble's under the whip, and 8 Direct Mail. We'll soon know who's the better stayer. Bar the shouting, Valiant Gamble. Valiant Gamble back to the rail, and bar the shouting. There's not an inch between them. Valiant Gamble on the fence, and bar the shouting. Valiant Gamble might have superior speed on the flat. He's joined bar the shouting. Bar the shouting, Valiant Gamble. Whips are cracking. Bar the shouting just in front of Valiant Gamble, and bar the shouting's going to win the Grand National Steeplechase. Bar the shouting's outstayed Valiant Gamble to win a length and 20 lengths.
Started 11-2, ran third in the national hurdle, of course, from Valiant Gamble. 8's Direct Mail 11-2. Noble Heritage disappointing at 13-8 favourite.
Yes, there was big raps on him from New Zealand. It was his first run over the big jumps here. And I thought he just raced a bit keen early, and on the first lap he risked a couple down the back, and he looked uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah.
Direct Mail, our promising young steeplechaser, he just failed to run out the gruelling 5,000 metres, and boy, they were tired horses getting to the line, weren't they?
They were indeed.
And unfortunately, the old horse, they had to pull him up.
Yeah, Prince
Lindell, yes, he's ninth attempt at a national. He led the field out, and unfortunately, he come back in the tail of them. So.
Okay, the next on the program, an English Charm put up a Kiwi performance here after getting interfered with. It was last at the 400-metre mark.
Knight moved up now on the outside to join All Spades at the 400. Running on Bravado, getting out I'm a Red Man. Duke of Oak Hill joins in wide out. They're followed by Young Vigilante. Duke of Oak Hill, the widest runners, coming with a paralysing run. Duke of Oak Hill's raced up to All Spades. Bronze Knight dying on its run. English Charm's getting out of the ground. Duke of Oak Hill's grabbed the lead. English Charm from a mile back, wearing down Duke of Oak Hill. Oh, fantastic run, English Charm. She's come from last and she's got there. English Charm from Absolute's beaten Duke.
Well, English Charm 9-2 equal favourite. Good win, Roy.
This was the run of the day, undoubtedly. They only travelled about probably 100 metres, and she was running about fifth, but just went straight back out of the pack. She obviously got squeezed and was a distinct last, was still last just prior to the home turn, and obviously looking as though she had no chance. And really her finish over the last 400 metres of that race was definitely one of the highlights of the day. And Greg Horwell, once again, he didn't panic when he got knocked down. He let her find her feet, and it's paid dividends. But by gee, that was a performance. She will now have one more run, and she's going back to New Zealand to go to stud.
Favourite won. The next protest was lodged. It was upheld, and we weren't surprised.
To go, and Pleasure Bandit's been wide but raced up with Some Kind and Newsbeat to take the lead. On the outside, My Avon Star, the challenger, Mr. Crescendo needs a runner. Highfield Queen getting out late over Surf Flint off the front runner, Pleasure Bandit. My Avon Star, Highfield Queen and Mr. Crescendo after Pleasure Bandit. Pleasure Bandit just in front, My Avon Star the outside after Pleasure Bandit. Pleasure Bandit, My Avon Star and Pleasure Bandit. My Avon Star going home at Pleasure Bandit tight. Might go Pleasure Bandit a nose to My Avon Star, but there's...
Wouldn't disagree with the steward's verdict there, Roy?
No, I think it stood out, Bill. There was on a couple of occasions over the last 200 metres where you could definitely see them come together. Young Carmichael on the horse that won the race and then lost it on protest, using the whip in the left hand. It's not easy for a young boy to change it over into the other hand. It takes a lot of time and a lot of practice, but something for him to think about.
OK, Sungei Wang favourite in the next.
Kings 400 to go, and a wall of them here. Romantic Game the outside, Richfield's lad Sungei Wang. New Orange back on the rails over Polydor and Jatova, wide out on the track, running on as Romantic Game reached the lead. Sungei Wang going with Romantic Game and Sungei Wang down the outside, Braquillo, but Sungei Wang has reached the lead. Clarion Call coming with a run and from a mile back with a big run worth a mention, but Sungei Wang in front, and Sungei Wang's got there. Sungei Wang's won a length and a half now. It's tight the minus.
And Sungei Wang's 7-2 favourite, battled on to win well, and the last race in the program was certainly a punter's disappointment.
Singled out and running on nearer the inside is Wise Scarlet. Just Jezebel, the front runner, breaks by 2 lengths, running on Self-Centered Marathon Star. Wise Scarlet singled out the rail. Just Jezebel, the leader at the 150, running it down. Wise Scarlet, Self-Centered the outside. Just Jezebel a length in front. Rhinestone Lady from a mile back. Wise Scarlet's run to second, but Just Jezebel leads all the way to win. Just Jezebel by 2. Wise Scarlet second, single.
And
out.
Just Jezebel winning the Frank O'Brien handicap.
Yes, that was Frank's farewell as far as Flemington is concerned. He's retired from race calling at Flemington. He's still going to officiate at Moonee Valley. And young Frankie Stockdale, which was the Frank O'Brien handicap, the young boy that won that race, was having his first, or rode his first winner in the metropolitan area. So there's a coincidence, especially if you backed it.
Yeah, I'll say. Let's have a look at the doubles now. And firstly, the extra double for 7 and 5, $21.40. The daily double at Flemington, 4 and 8, $13.20. The quadrella, 5, 4, 8, $1,543.20. and the quad extra 4 888 $3,095.50. Yes, it was a great day's racing, and as Roy, you pointed out, English Charm was probably the outstanding effort of the day.
Oh, yes, undoubtedly. Naturally, the National is always a great spectacle. It was good to see the old ex-jumping jockeys all out there yesterday by invitation from the VRC, having a wonderful time. And it's a great spectacle, but for as far as the best run of the day, undoubtedly was English Charm, Greg Hall winning a double once again.
OK, well, now, through the week, we've got, what, Sandown on Wednesday, and we go to Moonee Valley for the big one, the Hiskins steeplechase.
Yes, it's going to be a good race, the Hiskins, and it always is a good race, too.
Yes, and we certainly have, will have the opportunity of seeing you there at a racecourse through the week, if not back here on Sportsworld next Sunday. Thank you very much for joining us, and I'll say good morning to you all. Stand by for that football panel.